Still a bit too icy for the skinny tyres of the Racer. So, still hoofing it. Still hoofing it. Just walking into the city centre to do a bit of work with the soup kitchen tonight. Can't beat it, Friday night. Nice and fresh, crisp. Overloaded in coffee, as usual. And we're going in here to see what kind of scran's on offer for the guys tonight. It's just a volunteer thing, brilliant. It's good crack. Passes the night. Saves you sitting about watching crap television. You're out in the fresh air. And if you wrap up right, you're absolutely fine. So if anybody fancies volunteering, definitely a few great places that you can start, and you just have to approach them, fill in a form with your name, and that's pretty much it. It's a good thing to get involved in, even if you've done it once a month. How's everyone feeling anyway? I feel alright this week, feel good. Again, another week forward, we're another week into the year, we're into February, and by now you should be well on track with getting one or two things under your belt and achieving a couple of your goals, if you started them, of course. Hoping that you did. Starting them's what it's all about. Making the start's what it's all about, guys. So you have to put one foot in front of the other. You've got to consciously want to do it. See, if you want to do it, you will achieve it. Be it a bit of weight loss, even ignoring that, just a bit of better fitness. You know, you can still have the puppy fat and be fit and be focused, and it all kind of balances itself out in the end anyway. No matter what. You see, I drink an awful lot of coffee. And I'm going in out of phases of putting honey in it instead of sugar. Because they say honey is good for you, but it's just a sugar, let's be honest. And it tastes nice. And I don't worry too much. I don't worry too much about it. Because I don't eat a lot of processed foods. So I kind of find a balance there. I'm allowed that as a treat. Everything in balance. So I'm just walking. I've got a couple of mile walk ahead of me to the city centre, and the shelter under the bridge in Argyle Street, Homeless Project Scotland, they open tonight. They're serving food from about 8 o'clock. I'm going to be there. Don't normally tell people my location, but nothing to worry about, is there? So that's where I'm heading, guys. If anyone wants to come and get involved, I'm sure you'll be made more than welcome. There's other kitchens in Glasgow. There's other organisations. There's a lot of volunteer groups. Volunteering, there's a subject. If you ever wanted to try, if you're struggling to make yourself feel better with certain things, when we talk about your mental health, I wonder if any of you have ever tried just volunteering in a role where it's alien to you, by going and helping strangers. It might just be the ticket to make you feel better. It might just be the medicine you need. Because I'll be honest with you, there's nothing better. I'll tell you a wee story. I was in Glasgow the other night talking to a guy, and he said to me, "You don't recognise me, do you?" And I went, "No." He says, "You stopped me last year, maybe even longer ago." And I asked him where. I says, "I've not been there in a couple of years." And he went, "Well, it's maybe a couple of years ago." He says, and he knew who I was because he said, you were involved with the fishing and stuff. I said, that's right. And he said, and then when he said that, I kind of recognised him, but he changed a lot, right? He put weight on and he looked very different. But he jogged my memory. And he says, me and you had a chat one day, he said, and he went, you said to me, if you can't find the medicine, you know, looking in all the obvious places, try something completely different. I said, so by helping people and reaching out and helping strangers, I had found that worked for me. It made me feel good, right? And he said, you told me a few things, and he recited the conversation, and he said, that was my lift. He says, you lifted me up, you helped me up, and he says, I was basically begging at the point, and you gave me something, you gave me a bit of money. And I said to him, it's up to you how you use it. I said, I don't believe for a minute that you're not taking drugs. If you want to go and spend it today in drugs, I said, that would be a poor choice. I'd rather you spent it in a bit of decent scran. He says, I'll tell you the truth. He says, I did slip a few more times, but eventually I've sorted myself out. He admitted that he still has a wee drink now and again, but nowhere near in the volume. And he's straightening his life out, and that's brilliant. He's no by any stretch of the imagination home and dry, but he's in a hell of a lot better place, and he remembered me. And I said, well mate, that's really good. I says, I recognise you now. I says, but you've cut your hair a lot shorter, and you know, you've put weight on and stuff. So we had a banter, and he just said, he asked me what I was doing, and I told him, and he now volunteers at a few of these places around the city. I think he's quite well known for it. Talks to people about addiction and stuff, and he's not qualified, but he's got the life experience, and that's better than any bit of paper, isn't it? So amazing. I was chuffed that he remembered me, and you know, it wasn't as straightforward as me saying, right, you get your act together, and him doing it. That's not how it works. But he did take wee bits away from what I'd said to him, and he remembered me saying to him that no every day in my life's rosy, which is, he's right, because it's something I say often. And aye, brilliant. Great to know that he's still in the fight. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's about continuing the fight and just cracking on, and never basically accepting defeat. I suppose you can pick your battles so far in life, but sometimes the battle's picked for you. And with a lot of the people I'm talking to in the city just now, literally to a person, their battles stem from historic abuse, and their mental health as a result is at a real low. So they all have historical abuses in their lives, and it's resulted in them abusing alcohol and substances and the things that you think are the blockers, you know. And they're not. All they are is suppressors. They just blanket it for a period of hours, and if you continue to do it, it becomes weeks, days, months, years, whatever. Sad, but it's funny that it's not funny. It's apparent that they've all got the same backstory. Historical abuse from parents, cousins, family, uncles, organisations, welfare, care, foster parents, and then they go into a life of abuse, and as a result of it, 20-30 years later, their mental health's very, very poor. And the support structure's not there these days, because the system's so fractured, and you know, the system's really, really saturated. I don't think the manpower's there. perhaps the funding's not there. So these guys struggle greatly. Nowadays you've got a lot of volunteer organisations that seem to be doing as much, or if not more than anyone. Some people in the game might not like me saying that, but that's just my opinion. It's just kind of, the sums all lead me back to that kind of statement where the people all tell you the same story. They've tried and tried and tried to get the help. The help wasn't available, so they end up back doing what they've always done, which is relapsing. And it's a real crime, you know, it's a crime against humanity to let people be like that. And realistically, it's a huge portion of them can be helped if they're caught quick enough and they get the right, you know, they don't get put in a 5-month waiting list to see someone. That's not good enough. Anybody knows that's not good enough. But anyway, that's apparently how it is now, so we need to find other ways. And there are other ways. Again, the human touch, just by speaking to somebody, you're already helping them. Just by being considerate and having a bit of empathy with their troubles, you're helping. One thing's for sure, guys, it's cold tonight. So there we go, that's where I'm heading. So if anybody fancies volunteering anywhere, hit me up and I'll tell you where to go. There's plenty of places looking for help, and it's quite rewarding. You get to meet some amazing people from all walks of life, and that's medicine in itself. Alright, talk soon.